All right, finally at 4, as we mark Pride Month, we celebrate the LGBTQ plus community, but also the people who stand beside them. Allies are important to the queer community more now than ever, and one of them is a house music legend born and raised in South Jersey. Her name is Crystal Waters. Decade after decade, hit after hit. Crystal Waters has been making us dance.
I never thought from, back at 1991 that I would still be here, still doing this and still be appreciated.
Music was in her blood ever since she was a little girl, born and raised in Deptford, New Jersey.
I grew up in a musical family. My father was a jazz musician. I had a very famous aunt, Ethel Waters.
But it wasn't until she moved to Washington, D.C. that she started making music. To find her voice, Waters had to lose it first, literally.
I got up in the morning, I was fine. By the time I got to the fair, I had lost my voice. So I got to the psychic and she says, "Oh, you're not doing something with your voice. You got to do something with your voice." I was like, "Yeah, right, easy guess."
That led to her first singing gig and finally her first major hit.
I was writing it and I came up with the hook, which was la-da-dee, la-da-da.
Waters wrote Gypsy Woman, inspired by a real-life story of a homeless woman.
She felt like if she was going to ask people for money, that she should look respectable. So that's why she put on the full face of makeup. She was dressed in full black.
Now, years later, the song is resonating with many people in the LGBTQ plus community who are more likely to face homelessness and rejection than their straight peers.
The gay community had my back from day one.
It's her socially conscious lyrics that made Waters a house music legend and a gay icon.
The drag queens taught me how to do my makeup, how to have stage presence, because I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning. And, hanging out with all the dancers, the voguers and stuff, that's a time in my life that I'll never forget.
With 3 decades of chart-topping hits and countless accolades behind her, Waters is still getting her flowers. Just last weekend, she was honored at the Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame in D.C. But despite it all, Crystal Waters remains as humble as ever.
I got a lot of family in Philly, and I know they're going to be watching, so I just want to say hi.
La-da-dee-da-da. Just kidding. Well, these days, Waters is busier than ever. She's working on a new album, touring all summer. She even has her own podcast and runs her own record label. And she says it's important to remember that while Pride is a fun time of year, it's also important to honor those who paved the way. So many living legends still here in Philadelphia as well.
We're all going to be singing those tunes tonight.
Yeah, right. It's now in our heads. That's not a bad thing.
Christy,
thanks.